Good evening, everybody. This is your favorite aspiring historian here, a wandering author, reminding you that we're all the authors of our own lives. And we're going over some Greek history. Last time, we spoke about the Ionian War and ended with Tissaphernes, who was a Persian satrap who financed the Ionian revolt. Athens was obviously anxious about this, but nevertheless, with the added Persian support, Spartan allied forces were able to capture enough territory to threaten the Athenian shipping, traveling through the narrow channels of the Hellespont bottleneck, forcing Athenian forces to follow them north, lest they jeopardize their food supply. So, after Sparta threatens Athens' food supply, it looks like there might be a change in government in Athens, the land of democracy, but it looks like we might have oligarchy. By 412 BCE, Alcibiades had outworn his welcome in Sparta, having become publicly hated for his affair with Agis II's wife. So, an Athenian politician went over to Sparta and then had an affair with the Spartan king's wife. Hashtag He reached out to an Athenian fleet stationed at Samos and asked them to overturn the city's democracy in exchange for his return. Athens was split between two factions at the time, and both of them were open to hearing what Alcibiades had to say. At the same time, Thrasybulus captained one of the factions and was prepared to accept a moderate, broad-based oligarchy by limiting citizenship and office holding to a citizen body that only numbered in the thousands. So this guy is proposing to have just a few thousand people run all the government in Athens. Hashtag Persian cash over Greek freedom. Wait a second. The other faction on Samos was led by Peisander, who was committed to a narrower oligarchy than his rival. So the two factions that are fighting between each other right now are both oligarchical. One of them's just more oligarchical than the other. And at best, you're looking at a citizen body of a few thousand. In December of 412, Peisander would attempt to pilot the revolution, restoring Alcibiades, and his initial mission to Athens went well. Since Sicily had been such a disaster for them, the assembly was persuaded to entertain a different kind of democracy. Peisander's suggestion implied the measures would be temporary stopgaps, and that when Tissaphernes' help led to their success, they would be repealed, ushering in a renewed democratic golden age. So, somebody was promising to take care of a major problem by only being a tyrant for a little while. After they were done saving you, it will be a democracy again. Democratic backsliding had begun accelerating in 413, when the preliminary councilors, a board of elders, was appointed for an indefinite period. Sophocles belonged to the 10-man group, and Sophocles is a really famous Athenian playwright. So he was part of the 10-man group. This change's justification was that it would lessen the odds democratic forces could engage in another Sicilian expedition, because the Sicilian expedition did not go well for Athens last time. Peisander's covert mission to install a new oligarchy also succeeded, and the rich acquiesced. Wealthy elites financed most of the war, straining their pocketbooks and patience. Then, in the spring of 411, Peisander's crew published an oligarchic manifesto and assassinated a few opponents, creating a fearful climate amid the Athenian citizenry. Unfortunately, he discovered that Alcibiades' influence over the Persian emperor fell short of the #hype, and Tissaphernes wasn't interested in aiding them at all. Peisander proceeded with his anti-democratic plot even without Alcibiades' support, and he easily convinced an ignorant assembly to support his oligarchic revolution. He planned on restructuring the council so that it was a council of 400, which lacked annual re-elections. This council convened the assembly as it saw fit, and his office holders were chosen from a pool of Athens' 5,000 wealthiest men. And next time, we'll talk more about Peisander's oligarchy and what it did afterwards. But just remember, if there's an emergency and somebody promises to be an oligarch only for a little while, they're probably going to be an oligarch for a lot of while. Anyways, this is a Wandering Author reminding you that we're all the authors of our own lives. What are y'all doing in order to inspire, uplift, and empower your local community today? Because this world isn't changing unless we all do our part. You can count on me to do mine daily. Till next time, love y'all.